right now, and we can see that Seros and Kira are going to be the focus of this one. The Anivia not seeing the light of day anymore, with Kindred also being taken off the table. Then on the side of Hard Random, Twisted Fate and Echo. See you later, boys.
Yeah, and they take away the Echo, which is the right move if you're a Smurf, that's
Sure.
for sure. And we do have to mention that it's Levita playing, not Warzone.
Okay, awesome.
Which is a big deal, because Levita has been performing much better on this international stage.
It really, really has. So Azir also here and not going to be able to get his hands on that one. We saw Kira's LeBlanc, though, a very strong pick in his hand. So just waiting on the last ban coming out of Hard Random.
Yeah, the thing is, it was picked into Azir.
Oh, true.
So it was a favorable matchup for Kira.
Looks like Rise will be taken away after that one. We've seen some mixed, Rise has had some mixed performances so far, either completely stomping his lane or just not being able to find the right target, especially after that Quicksilver Sash has been picked up.
Yeah, absolutely right. Rise as well is, so there's a lot of target on this top lane. Roe and Levita in this mid lane, which leaves open basically every champion. Graves and Alistar stand out the most, Gragas as well. I think there are a lot of picks here on the board.
I'll bring over this Alistar. Very, very smart choice here. They are going to be locking that one in for Su, but remember, we've only seen Licorice on one alley game, so it's not going to affect him too much as he has a very deep support pool, but Alistar, no joke in his own right, such a hard engage survivability.
Yeah, and it's going to be a super tank. It's got reliable engage, but I also think that it gives them the Bard. Like Licorice wants to play it into tanks primarily, is where it shines the brightest. And they don't even need to early pick it because they have the alley.
We saw Smurf on Maokai last game, having banned away Echo. He's going to have a little bit of breathing room here. Sivir also picked up for Miracle. We've seen Sivir do so darn well when they're able to get ahead.
Sivir, very, very crazy champion when snowballing throughout the game. Maokai to complement as well. We got the big front line set in stone. Smurf is a very competent Maokai. Regardless of what happened in that Echo game, I can put it out of my mind for you just once.
Yep. Looks like Saigon Jokers hovering over that Gragas. We've seen Gragas both in the jungle and in the top lane this tournament, so once that locked in, definitely a flex pick. It will be locked in, so also the Kalista being picked up for Celebrity here. So ready to do quite some work on Kalista also.
Yeah, and lock in the Kalista Gragas combo, so disengage now a possibility for most of the Saigon Jokers. It's also a very strong bot lane between Alistar and Kalista.
You're definitely right.
It's actually a very successful bottom lane, I think, from what we've seen so far.
Wouldn't be surprised to see the Graves being picked up for Steros. He's been playing it so damn well. And there's the Bard Licorice. He must have a huge grin on his face right now, knowing that they let him get away with that one. So once again, saving that last pick for their mid lane Kira. He's very good at determining what's the best counter for his opposition, picking it and then proceeding to body them with it.
Yeah, look, Graves locked in for Steos. He's got a very strong champion. Smurfs mostly played the Maokai as well. Bard, Licorice, his best champion. It goes without saying. Hard Random right now have got 3 of their champions, probably their most comfortable champions at this tournament. The Sivir, always going to be relevant. Actually one of those champions where you just press R if you're behind and you're still relevant. So if Sivir's ahead, it makes this team composition just that little bit more scary.
Really interesting to see how Saigon Jokers answer this one. I wonder what mid laner they're going to pick going blind against Kira, who has also such a deep champion pool. Lissandra, maybe. We've seen Lissandra have a lot of success in the international wildcard, so very smart pickup here. That's also going to be a Poppy locked in the road.
Yeah, they get themselves the Poppy and Lissandra. Very good champion in that middle lane, especially as a blind pick for Levita. Yep, Poppy in the top lane as well. Knows it's a Maokai. Doesn't lose lane. Neither of them really lose lane. It just comes down to how you play it out. Sure. And so there's possibilities that both of them actually do well in it. Rule of thumb, you would default to the Poppy winning, however, just because that's how it works.
Hard Random taking long and hard to think about who they want to be setting up against this Lissandra in the mid lane. Kira, though.
They got options.
Yeah, they have mid lane, such a versatile lane. Control, assassin, you name it, roaming. He's got his teleport hovered over right now, so he knows he likes to play that. But we see the Vladimir, actually. Okay.
That's a different one.
Yeah, we mentioned Kira with a deep champion pool, but I didn't know it went that deep, Rusty.
That's pretty deep. I mean, that's real deep, man. I don't know what to think about the Vladimir being in there. I mean, it's great into certain aspects of them.
Sure.
It's very hard to get ganked by a Gragas, firstly. Hard to get ganked by an Alistar because they are very obvious that they are walking towards you. They've got that delay as well on the headbutt and on the body slam. I think the Vladimir can use his Sanguine Pool, get away from a lot of spells, but it also means that you're a Vladimir into a Lissandra, which to me is like, she goes Abyssal Scepter anyway and has magic resistance. It's a risky pick. A really risky pick.
Look, he saw the Vladimir changes that are coming up on the mid-season Mage patch and got him all excited to play Vlad all over again. But you make some excellent points about the build order. Vlad, doesn't really have a comfortable way to get some of that good magic resistance while also getting ability power. Not compared to Lissandra, who those free spells just act as kind of a buffer for going without mana for a while.
Well, I mean, they both can go Abyssal Scepter. Like,
yeah,
that'll be perfectly fine. It's more that like the Vladimir will itemize towards a Gunblade.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, Gunblade. Revolver. Not the Gunblade. The Spell Vampire. Before he finishes any other items. I do think that he runs the risk of dying early as well. It's similar to a Kassadin, just without mobility, honestly. And that's a very scary thing. He needs to be quite careful in the way that he plays around the map. Teleports are lacking a little bit more so with the Vladimir than any other champion as well. I think there's a lot of risks to this, and I've said that. But Saigon Jokers are running standard. They should be able to deal with him.
Well, we said what the risks are. Surely there are some upsides to picking Vlad. You mentioned he's hard to gank. He's got a lot of sustained damage. Should he be able to stay in the fight and keep going? But where do you see this really fitting in here?
So the positives to the Vladimir is that first and foremost, you're working with a Sivir composition where the boomerangs can get amplified with their damage hitting the back line when Sivir's already touching the front line. The Maokai as well, who does magic damage, will be doing more magic damage when he's hitting the back line of the opposite team also.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, the Brad. We are into Summoner's Rift with Saigon Jokers taking on Hard Ran, and this could potentially be for your #1 spot at the International Wildcard Invitational.
Yeah, we're looking at, once again, Hard Random need to get that team fighting as well. I think that's the important part. If they lose in laning phase, if Lissandra gets ahead or if Poppy gets ahead, even the Kalista, they can run away with this whole game.
Yeah. Seeing the Graves start potion, I can feel Carbon tilting from upstairs. He's mentioned time and time again just how much he hates the 3 potion start. No, he wants the refillable, especially on Graves. He feels that Graves can just continually buck backwards that he doesn't need.
Well, Graves doesn't need a potion.
Yep.
Like, he can basically clear without one. And like, I agree. I do think the refillable's better. Everyone has their different goals, though, behind them buying it.
Sure. Sometimes
if you go for the 3 potions, you just don't like rebuy potions at all.
Sue looking for some cheeky vision here. Going to be running into Licrit and Miracle. He's going to get smacked up already. The stun hits, taking him down to about half health, but he does have potions and an innate heal to keep himself topped up.
I'm not sure how the stun hit, once again.
There's Bard mechanics, man.
Licrit is something else. I'm pretty sure that he's not human.
And you know how fighting game players go in and practice their tech down to the T. He goes in with Bard and just queues for days.
Doesn't solve the issue. How is he I don't get it, man. Guy's a really good Bard, and I even said it in the pregame, man. Like, you give that guy Bard, you're running the risk of losing the entire game. Because he is just too good at it.
In the mid lane we see. Oh, looks like Jinky might be going for an early gank before Vlad has access to the pool, standing there, making his presence known. The Claw comes in. There is going to be any CC. Does get the pool at level 2, so takes a lot of damage, but avoids a potential first blood. Great spell shield.
That was a very good spell shield. I do think he leveled up at the right time, honestly, Kira. He got the pull, and the body slam did not connect because it was timed poorly by Jinky.
Yeah. Looks like we see Stehos doing his thing on the Graves, just going to be farming to that early advantage. So Jinky already shown the first gank of the game to not be a success, getting himself a nice little blue buff. And Kira, he started with that Doran's shield, so a little bit of extra sustain, a little bit of extra health. Transfusion should be enough to keep him topped up also.
Yeah, Kira's doing reasonably well at the moment. Surprisingly okay laner, dependent on matchup, is Vladimir.
Of course.
Can be frustratingly good sometimes. You need to actually respect his sustain, because if you pick a trade and the trade goes even, you basically lost. Just rule of thumb with sustain champions.
That's a great point. That's the second time we've seen Jinky here try to look for a play. He was standing around that top lane. Looks like Seros has found him a nice dash to avoid the body slam damage, but the last thing you want to do is go up against the Graves this early in the game.
Yeah, and they're hitting each other as well, but Vladimir has the rotations because he's closer, whereas Su has to meet on the flip side.
Looks like Steho's just going to be backing him away, making sure he doesn't get anything more than he's entitled to. Down in the bot lane, the two tanks just hitting on each other. Su, though, he might want to go for it. Goes for the headbutt pulse combo, but there is Liquid right behind him. Su might be in a lot of trouble. The red buff is slowing Jinky. He is there, but he wants to get the Gromp before he helps his support.
Yeah, running out of vision hard random. They could have committed further to it, but they didn't know if they could. And so they back away. They make the safe move, and everything settles down.
Rogue is doing a good job of trading over there against Smurf. He's got the teleport, so he shouldn't be in a lot of trouble should he want to get back to lane on time. Kira also going to be recalling for his first buy. Looks like going straight for that Negatron cloak. So we'll be favoring the magic resistance over the spell vamp early on in the game. Both teleports being expended very early for this team.
Yeah, they get themselves back to lane, and both teleports used at the same time to get themselves back to lane. That's a small victory for hard random in the way of if they both make it through to the teleports, because they can do it at the same time. But it's also a very extended period of time now that they don't have them available.
Ooh, another nice dash to make sure that body slam doesn't hit Jinky, taking a lot of damage. Smurfy goes for the flash, causing the Jinky flash. They might be able to pick this one up. Graves goes for the flash in. That should be enough. One more auto should do it. Rowe, he's completely owned, but here comes Lavoda looking for the Q. Gets it down onto Smurf, who's very darn low. Can they get it? One more auto attack should do it. Looks like Sterhos, he doesn't want to leave out of this one. Vladimir is on the back end. The flash from Poppy keeping her safe. So Kira a little bit late to the party here.
Yeah, and he's still a Vladimir. So what does the Vladimir actually provide to the party? Nothing of importance anyway. Levita did a lot of work there. They get themselves the response kill onto Smurf, but it took an awful long time because guess who was doing more work? Steos. He was dismantling their entire team with those Graves buckshots.
Yes, Steos knows exactly the range at which Graves does the most amount of damage, and it's point blank. For your information, we can see just how well he loves to get up in the face of his enemy. A nice headbutt pole onto Liquor. It's getting taken very low. The Ignite goes down quickly, turning to exhaust. The Magical Journey should be enough to keep him safe. But now Celebrity might be in trouble as Miracle was ordering him the entire time.
Yeah, and this is the battle of arguably the two best AD carries, and we got themselves into standard lanes. This could be dangerous.
A nice flash. He knew that Lavoda had the ultimate available. Had to flash that one as the Sanguine Pool was running out of time.
And it gets out fine. That was a good flash, I will say, from Kira. Everything kind of settles down, but it means that Kira is a really good gank target. Once again for the Saigon Jokers. It's a very obvious fact anyway, because he's Vladimir. But now he's a little bit easier.
Yeah, now that flash isn't available. No summoners on that mid lane. Gragas just doing the first bit of counter jungling of the game. We see Smurf and Rowe in the bot doing what tanks do and farm, smack on each other when they can, but unless they have the help of their junglers, no one's really coming out ahead in this one.
Yeah, not even us. No one really wins watching tanks hit each other, but they're necessary.
Yep. Stehos looking to do his first bit of invading, getting some deep wards, wants this Raptor camp. Gragas nowhere nearby. As I say that though, he's making his way over. Should be able to clear this before he gets there if Smite is available, and it is. Jinky going to be feeling the burn after this one. Oh, yeah, Jinky steals it with a body slam, so no Smite used, but now Stehos, he might be in a little bit of trouble. Going to have to quick draw over the wall.
He probably could have killed them.
Yeah, Levita's so low, and this is a little bit perplexing here. Weird. Looks like he might be going back in onto Levita. No ward is available, but surely Levita still.
They're collapsing though. There's a Maokai as well.
Yep. Looks like they want to take this red buff away. The Smite will get it. Jinky might be in a little bit of trouble. He has no flash available. Stehos. The ultimate from Vladimir goes down. Jinky, you are a very dead fat man, sir.
Yeah, he is super dead on that Gragas, and a nice invade from hard random. The recall from the Lissandra, also the knowledge that regardless of that recall, had no health, had no mana.
Yep.
There wasn't really anything he could do to help follow it up. They make a smart rotation of Vladimir out ganking a Lissandra. at 8 minutes in the game.
Never thought we would be saying that one, Rusty. And he also...
I don't think I'd be saying Vladimir, let alone out-ganking someone as Vladimir.
You're exactly right. Looks like he will be able to get back in time for those minions to crash upon his tower. Going to be picking them up for himself. So Jinky still level 5. But caught out in his own jungle trying to secure himself a red buff. Going to just go back to farming now. Picked himself up that Hunter's Potion. Keep himself sustained. On the side of Graves, he's got himself a longsword. Should be going for that warrior enchant.
Yeah, we're not seeing any challenging smites.
Yeah. So
what has happened?
It seems like day in, day out, these guys are just like, challenging smite didn't really work yesterday, let's just go back to trackers.
But it feels like gentleman's agreement to change the meta simultaneously.
I know, right?
Like, all we've seen is just Graves go challenging smite with his longswords and run into the enemy jungle, but he's doing it this time with vision. I don't prefer one or the other. I think that maybe having wards is a little bit more valuable, especially as the game goes on. And we are starting to see a lot of late games as there's a flash.
Oh, Licorice might be in a little bit of trouble. The Ignite comes down. Is going to be able to flash out on a nice magical journey once again to keep him to safety. So they're trying to make the plays on Licorice, but once again, he's showing why he's one of the most dominating supports in this tournament, having a very easy time escaping those ganks.
Or he's at least a bard. That's what we can take from that. Of course, the engage from Sue was a flash pole, but it was deep. And it was too deep because Celebrity wasn't nearby.
Oh. Levita, he might be in a little bit of trouble. There is on the hunt. The Bard ulti is popped. Oh, narrowly avoids that one with the claw. Getting himself to safety in the Rift Herald's domain.
Yeah, and that's the first attempt at something great as the teleports are in.
Yeah, so he's popped the ultimate here. There is Graves. He's focused onto Levita. The first one to fall is Miracle. Flashing over the wall is the Gragas. Looking for some plays. Kira in the backline. Celebrity going to be picking up his Alistar. Kira in a lot of trouble. Might be able to pick up the Alistar. No, the heal comes out. Where are they going to go? Row with a beautiful warbang. Keeping him at base. Smurf, though, might be able to pick up one.
Wow,
that's 2.
Smurf.
They've turned it around. The Vladimir ult just proving to be so much damage. Smurfy should be able to get one. A nice headbutt. Is the smoke screen going to be enough to slow him? Sue, he's getting away. Where is the damage to finish him off? One buckshot should do it. There it is. The heal from Licorice giving him enough movement speed to hit the end of the line, and that's the end of the line for Ali for sure.
And it took a very long time to get those kills, but it also took an awfully long time to take down Kira from hard random. On the back of Kira dying, the damage was already done, and you have to remember the damage amplification that Smurf gets when the Vladimir places down his Hemo Plague, and that was enough to continue to carry them through that team fight, and they take out Saigon Jokers and the Dragon with it.
Yeah, Steos, he is 3-0-3 at the moment, so he's got to be feeling good. We've just seen how strong his Graves can be in those extended fights. So after the dust has settled, we see that Hard Random are currently sitting 6 kills to 3. Got themselves a nice 1,000 gold lead. No towers to fall as of yet, so this is what happens when standard lanes are in effect. The towers survive for a lot longer.
Well, it's jungle heavy. That's the thing right now. Everybody's invading. They've decided to go for these warding trinkets as well as the junglers, so everything's become a little bit more standard in this game. And I think through that, whilst taking turrets is a standard thing, it's usually through objectives and kills. And this early in the game, people are just killing in the jungle, and it takes too long to rotate.
Yeah, it looks like Gragas on the way to his Runic Echoes, while his opposition of Steos, he's finished his warriors. He's got his Boots of Swiftness. He's got a halfway built to a Hex Drinker. This Graves is going to be very problematic for Saigon Jokers to deal with.
Yeah, the Graves is going to be a big issue, especially as the game goes on. Remember, Graves being that marksman is only going to get stronger from this point onwards. Not that the Gragas is weak by any means once he gets the Runic Echoes. Now the engage.
Celebrity's in trouble, but there is the counter. Teleports looking for the kills. Where are the members from Hard Random? It is going to be Levita coming in. Oh, no. That's heartbreaking. Barrels him to safety.
Oh, what a disaster. Jinky did not want that to happen. Missed the body slam, missed the ultimate. Feel like he just threw it out of frustration after the body slam missed. Right positioning from Jinky, though, to actually defuse the entire gank at all.
Ooh. Looks like Saris might be in a little bit of trouble, but Rowe taking a lot of damage, going straight into melee range with a Vlad. Jinky is there to back him up. Levita is also coming around the Poppy ultimate, knocking away the Maokai. He's not going to be part of the fight. The flash in from Kira. The collateral damage should be enough. Ro should pop any second now. Wow, he's so low. The smoke screen is going to be enough to finish him off. That's another kill going over to Steos.
I'd like to bring attention to the fact that was a flash pull from Kira for crowd control.
That's beautiful.
Because they needed to slow him down.
That's a lot of damage coming out from Steos.
Yeah, Jinky should not be there.
Oh, Levita wants to have his hand in it.
I don't think Steos cares, though.
Yeah, not at all. Kira dodging away from the Q. He's got himself that Hex Tech Revolver, so we'll be getting more and more lifesteal, especially off that transfusion, keeping him topped up should ever he go for an unfavorable trade.
Yeah, now he doesn't have flash. He's a little bit more killable, but that's a very hard thing to say. Yeah, that was a full-on flash puddle, man. Smurf actually got knocked out by the Poppy. So his immediate thought was, well, we have no crowd control. We have no way to lock him down. I have a brilliant idea. And then just flashed in.
Looks like Ro is going to be losing his turret. Smurf getting the local gold from that one. We see another fight taking out. I don't think Su wanted to go through that magical journey. He is an Alistair, though, so he's not too afraid of being in the front line.
He tried to pulverize before he went through the journey and accidentally took it after pulverizing. So I had to headbutt him away because, well, these things happen.
Yep.
Sometimes you just need to go on the journey. You may not even know that you need to go on that journey.
That's the magical part of it, Rusty.
Exactly. Sometimes you just do.
The good thing about having a non-mana champion in the mid lane is this Graves is going to get free access to blue buffs all game long. Yeah. Unless he wants the cooldown reduction later on.
It's the Yasuo theory.
Yeah.
And then they take it for gold.
Scumbag mid laners.
No such thing. That got them an item. Good blokes, honestly.
Junglers always receiving the short end of the stick when it comes to late game.
Mid lane
I want Wolves. I want Raptors.
You get nothing. Past 15 minutes, those Raptors are not yours.
Keep in mind that Smurf, he's got 6 stacks on his Dark Seal, so a little bit of ability power coming in. Remember, he went for that rush of the Sunfire Cape, so he's got to get his damage somewhere. It's going to be from that Dark Seal for the time being.
Yeah, I guess like Sunfire Cape still does a lot of early damage as well. And it does magic damage, so another cool thing, amplified further by Vladimir's ultimate.
Oh, that is exactly right.
Small details, every single piece of magic damage when the Hemo Plague's out will get amplified. So even Graves' smoke screen, I believe, does a slight bit more. And it's not a lot, right? Like, it's just a small percentage amplification. But at the end of the day, if everybody's doing it, it actually adds up.
We saw how much health Ro lived on before. That can be the difference between the smoke screen killing him and him getting away, leaving a frustrated Graves in his wake. So back in the mid lane, basically even CS here. I like the way Kira's playing this. He just wants to make sure.
Kira's one lane already.
Well, he might be in a little bit of trouble here, though, as Jinky comes in, turning around. A lot of damage coming through, but in the top lane, the fight has also come out, not hitting the Bard stun. The first time we've seen Licorice missing that one, but the Tempered Fate should be enough. Seho's going to be the pseudo AD carry in this one, as all that's needed from Miracle is the ultimate.
Yeah, they don't really need anything more from it. Just a Sivir composition, as he's going to be there to break down the turrets. And Steos is everything in this game. Bard with the engage once again. The stun may not hit, but the Tempered Fate does. And they lock down the AD carry for a second time.
Yeah, Hard Random getting a further and further ahead. Really looking strong in this game. 2 levels on Steos over his opposition. I like how Graves plays. They see a pink one, they say, nah. They ping it and walk off. They want nothing to do with that one. We saw that Kira, he's not afraid. He sees the claw coming in. He knows the CC from Lissandra is coming out. So what does he do? He pops ult, walks straight on top of her, hits her with the Q, hits her with the E, and says, fight me.
Yeah, putting in a lot of work. I would, honestly, like, so it's hit the point now where I look mid lane, and you look at the items, right? And you're like, oh, nah, Lissandra, 17 minutes. She's got completed boots with a Rod of Ages. Fair enough. Like, it's a little bit late. Still doing fine. Then you look at a Vladimir, you're like, oh, yeah, he's got his team book, Duel of the Ancients.
Selfish book now, remember?
Yeah, sorry, the selfish book. It's still called the team book, satirically. And like I look at that, it's like, oh no, you know, like same items, it's doing all right. But that means Vladimir's winning. But they shouldn't have same items. There's no situation where they should be even, because one's a Vladimir.
That was a very early smite. Steos feeling very confident that this dragon won't be contested, especially after hearing that Rift Herald roar. You see the members here using the Rift Herald buff to help push down that top tower. It's going to be the first tower for Saigon Jokers. 2 towers on the side of Hard Random, though, so still playing catch-up here.
And look at the sustain that Steos has got in the jungle now as well. He doesn't even need to leave to recall. It's actually a common mistake that a lot of Graves make. As you get too content by staying full health in the jungle, you just actually don't recall.
There we see.
This is deep.
Yeah, going for another red buff here. It is his second red buff this far in the game. I do believe he's gotten it more than Jinky. We see Levita trying to make his way down to contest this one. The claw has been used. That's no escape, though.
You can't trick him.
Oh, the Bard ultimate is there. Do they want to make something on the hunt? Has been popped. The stun narrowly missing from Licrit, forcing the flash at least.
Now they get the summoner spell out of the Lissandra. You can't pump fake the Graves right now. He will actually walk at you. It's a 5-0-3 Graves.
He's not afraid in the
He's not messing around. Like, if you walk up to him and you use your claw, you better be committing to something because he'll just run at you.
You better have brought the whole team to that fight.
Yeah.
Looks like both the AD carries are now in the mid lane. They want to get some of this damage. It's the last outer turret that Saigon Jokers have remaining. Going to be doing everything in their power to keep this one alive. Looks like Kira has been pushed off to the side lane. He's going to be taking one-on-one with Rose Poppy. But look how fast he clears those waves. Tides of Blood is such an amazing skill when it has 4 stacks up.
Yeah, there's very little things in the map right now that can take him down. Maybe the Kalista, but it's one of those things where Kalista's a short-range AD carry.
Yep.
And if you're in range to be hitting the Vladimir, you're probably in range to die to the Vladimir.
Lissandra is loud no matter what client you're watching.
Oh, absolutely. The loudest, most annoying champion in League of Legends sometimes.
Looks like he's going to try and defend this mid lane here. Licrit, the stun going a little bit wide, but look at the damage turned around. Defends a tower, but takes a chunk of damage in the process.
Yeah, the Bard. Remember, this is the Licrit special, by the way. Captain's Boots with mobility.
I like it.
Every single time. It's actually really cool because he's the one engaging.
Yep.
Civic can press the ultimate, and everyone running behind him is going to be insanely quick.
I wonder if Steos will be donating that blue buff over to anyone just yet. Maybe the Siva for those boomerangs. Nope.
Nah, it's his.
He's 5-0-3. He has priority right now.
Absolutely. That's how that works.
Yep.
He's probably going for his Maw next as well. Lots of positives for Hard Random. They're just waiting to group up, hit that team fight, and try and actually get some objectives because the map is starting to open for them, but not by a crazy amount. Mid's still yet to be broken.
Yep.
And that's the most important one and the first step.
All teleports are available for both teams here. Tempered Fate on the hunt. Great combo here. Locks him down, gets your team in range. Looks like Steros making his way to the mid lane. They really want to get this outer turret. You've got to give props to Levita holding this one off against such an opposing force.
Yeah, he's been doing well to hold off, but
the engage is there. He might be in a little bit of trouble. Going to have to flash out of that one. The Tempered Fate locked down the turret so low, but they want to fight this one. Ali ult has been popped. He gets picked up. Levita gets taken down in that one. Kira gets stunned against the wall.
Big.
Yeah, he's so damn strong. It doesn't matter what happens once the Hemoplage is down. Smurf turns into an AP carry too.
Yeah, so much damage out of Smurf as well as the tankiness. And across the board, Hard Random, once again, they are just destroying the Saigon Jokers. This is a battle for first place in this wildcard tournament. And it doesn't feel like Saigon Jokers are even contesting it yet.
Yeah, Hard Random have definitely shown up to play today. They are playing so damn well. Look at the aggression out of Rowe, trying to go for the wallbang, not going to be able to get the stun on the Graves. And even if he did, would it have mattered? He'd already gotten off the quick draw, so his armor and magic resistance were heavily in place.
Yeah, Smurf overstaying a little bit here, but it shouldn't matter. That's the only reason they were engaging in the middle lane too, is because they found themselves a Maokai in the bottom lane. Thought it was the right idea. Obviously not happy about that decision in the end.
8,000 gold in favor of Hard Random, doing an excellent job of turning their early advantages into a complete snowball. 3 kills to 10. So Saigon Jokers definitely feeling the pressure. And now 4 towers to 1 as well. So winning on every single front here. Saigon Jokers going to have to pull something out to try and get this game back in a winnable state.
They just tried. That's the thing. Like they're running out of options 100% of the time. Gragas flash engage. There's only so long you can actually wait to have that available again until the map starts to close out. What I do say, though, about Saigon Jokers is I look at the minimap and I commend their vision. They have a lot of it. It may not be deep vision, but they've got the Baron covered. They've got their own jungles covered. They have all of the tools to stop the advances of hard random. And this just comes back to what Saigon Jokers are good at once again, is they're the counterpunch team. You're giving them options to counterpunch if they can control the vision. Like, that is a lot of it.
That's the benefits of going that Tracker's Knife. 2 extra wards in the hand of a roaming player. Looks like Jinky, though, might want to contest Steos' second red buff of the game. This pink ward proving to be the real formidable opponent. Su, though, maybe want to go in here. Liquid also there. There comes the claw over the wall. Steos might be in a lot of trouble, but there is the more pop. He gets the red buff in the middle of that fight. Already Lissandra is taken down. Vladimir in the backline. Jinky should pop after that one. A Tides of Blood to finish him off. Row, he's in a bad spot. The triple for Kira. Can he make it the quadra? Not even going to bother as he goes down to the lane. But look how strong Row is. He is tanking for quite a bit of time, and that's the beauty of Poppy here.
That was actually an adorable bait. Kira, they're going to dive, though.
Yeah, he's got himself the Crystal Scepter. There's no way you're getting out of this one. Every Tides of Blood is going to slow him down. The Twisted Advance is going to be enough, and that's the ace for Hard Random.
Yeah, and they get the full ace. Hard Random, actually, Kira was looking for a flank to stop any kind of flash out, firstly.
Yep.
And if the Krugs were there for him to dash to, depending on the vision that they had, right? So covering all of their bases, and because he was out of the fight and he was the damage source to kill Row, Liquid gave an escape tool to the Poppy.
Yeah,
actually put a magical journey down and was like, here you go, mate, take this. And then he walked into the Vladimir.
Very cute plays here coming out of Liquid. He's making this Bard look
There's things
so
like
much
that
fun.
that nobody thinks about. Right?
So much
like,
fun.
How many Bards have you seen do that to get them closer to your team and bait them with a magical journey? And how many times have you seen that in competitive play? Like, he is just a phenomenal Bard player. And at the start of this block, we said one thing about him. It's like, he's a good player. If you give him Bard, you're probably going to lose the game. And that continues to happen.
Yeah, he's proving us right. 10,000 gold in the lead. A Hard Random after another successful skirmish around the red buff. Saigon Jokers trying their best to not let this game slip away, but it's causing them to fall further and further behind. They're trying to pull the trigger. We saw in the mid lane, they wanted to get the Graves out of straight away out of the fight, but Liquid with the perfect reaction just ults the tower and it just turns golden. Once again, they try to make a fight on the Graves at the red buff, but there is the entire squad of Hard Random ready to back him up.
Yeah, Graves was caught out of position, like massively caught out of position. He took most of his health in damage, but then he just got his More of Malmortius procced. He walked over to the red buff, he auto-attacked it, and then he smited it, and he had all of his health back. I was like, well, Graves has lived twice in this fight, so Row took him down, but he had to take him down from full health.
Yeah, Row did an exceptional job of staying alive for quite some time. That's just how Poppy players do. In the mid lane, though, we see another Tempered Fate forcing the flash.
Every time. Every
Yeah.
single time that
Every
Liquid
damn
has
time.
his ultimate, he forces a Summoner spell or he hits it. I still don't know why they've given it to him. A very impressive player, though, nonetheless.
Look, sometimes you just, the last thing that's on your mind is how well is this Bard going to do if we give it to him, but that should be the first thing they think of. They banned the Anivia, so looks like they're looking at the wrong comfort pick here. Su might be in a little bit of trouble. The Magical Journey to get him through just a little bit faster. Ali still has ultimate available. Might have to pop it to keep himself alive. Nice. Hove keeps him at bay for now.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's the wrong ban either from Saigon Jokers. The Anivia was fine. The Azir, perhaps, maybe not. But
the Kindred?
They got rid of Kindred.
Yeah.
He'll play Graves anyway.
Smurf just being the resident
He's going to laugh it off.
Celebrity doesn't even bother. He's like, hey, the minions. I can get confirmed gold for these minions, or I can chase a Maokai for 30 seconds.
Dirt off his shoulder, man.
Oh, Levita using his only escape out of that one. Takes a nice chunk of damage from Steos. This tower should fall very quickly once the next minion wave comes into play here.
Still showing respect, however, Hard Random.
Yep.
Saigon Jokers. It is a flash Gragas engage after all. Lissandra's got the exact same thing. And they can follow it up effectively. I'd imagine Hard Random want to be as powerful as they possibly can be before they look to outright fight.
Yeah, Kiri's got himself that nice trifecta of items here. Once you get that Crystal Scepter on Vlad, you just have such a good time. Every 2 seconds he Q's off cooldown, every 2 seconds he E's off cooldown, and you're just spamming them, keeping them in range, because that's kind of the downside to Vlad. He's very short range champion.
Yeah, right.
No
I was
CC.
going to say, so like he's got his trinity of items. This man's got too much money to have just a trinity of items. He has 3.8k.
Sitting in his back pocket.
Yeah, so he's got a void stuff, or he's just going to finish a full death cap because he's feeling greedy.
There we go.
Yeah.
The death cap buy.
Why not? They have magic resistance, but just do damage.
You mentioned that they want to be the most powerful that they can, and a death cap is a surefire way to get there. So hard random picking up those huge tier 3 items and looking to break the base.
It's a full death cap buyout, like. Everyone's got some weird tendencies in this tournament. 3.8k to save for instead of ending the game. You do you, Kira.
12,000 gold in the lead. So felt like only a minute ago I was saying 10,000. These guys are getting further and further ahead as they're putting the choke on their opponent, taking away every single jungle camp. The red buff once again going over to this Graves. Jinky's like, please, man, come on. Please, let me have my red buff. Not going to happen, though. Ooh! Did he just give away a buff to his teammates?
Whoa, that was not good.
Oh no, Saros, he might be in a little bit of trouble here on the hunt. Has been popped, but look at that Bard ulti! Completely taking away 3 members of the fight, giving his team enough time to get in there, keep their jungler alive. Smurf on the backline, Miracle looking for some kills here, and wow! Does Liquid impress the heck out of me. The
They're
fight,
not done, though.
It's not done yet. It looks like Smurf taking the Twisted Advance into the fight. The Boomerang going to be taking out that one. Celebrity getting completely 1v1 by this Maokai. Look how slow he hops with no attack speed. The Twisted Advance will be enough. Kira comes in to take that one. 4 kills for 0 on another great engage, but when you have Liquid on your team, there is no good engage.
But like, yeah, so Liquid diffused the entire thing, right? It's very hard to kill a Graves by himself. He's got a lot of defensive items, but the biggest thing is that he walks up, hits the amazing Tempered Fate, and uses the Mikhail's Crucible on this Graves to get him out alive. Just dashes over the wall and does his thing again. Magic in game number 1 from Hard Random.
Wow.
And they destroy Saigon Jokers.
Yeah, we mentioned in the pre-game that Saigon Jokers, their counter punch is going to have to hit hard if they want to have a chance at taking it hard random, but we saw from Supermassive that the only way to really take it to this team is be as aggressive as they are and make the plays. And I got to commend Saigon. They had, when they pulled the trigger, they pulled it well. It was just they were too far behind at that stage for it to really matter.
Yeah, Saigon Jokers just didn't get ahead early, I think is the easiest way for me to explain this one. Hard Random, very good at playing with that lead. They're aggressive and they love team fighting as a team. So whenever they're ahead, that just makes a lot of sense that it's easier for them to do, right? Whereas Saigon Jokers, they like playing from behind. They're like catching up and being the counterpunch, but not that far behind, because that was unreasonably far behind, and it was mostly through that jungle roll.
Yeah, once again, we've seen Liquid on that Bardo just being an absolute magical asset to his team. Hopefully the next people versing them will pick up on that one and we'll see a Bardo ban, because right now Liquid on that champion looks unstoppable.
Well, I think everyone except Saigon Jokers has picked up on that. I think that's the easiest way to explain it. Everyone can see his Bard. We've all seen his Bard. He's just beaten everybody that he's played it on. So, like, honestly, get rid of it would be a good move. If you were Saigon Jokers this time, they don't. They lose for it. Next team going up, yep, definitely get rid of it.
And how do you get rid of Kira, though? Because we've seen him play a variety of champions under the sun, pulling out the Vladimir, and it looked damn good, Rusty.
Well, you can't ban out Kiro, that's the thing. You just get rid of his best champions. It's the same with any good mid laner. Like Faker, you can't ban him out, but you get rid of his best champion, which was the LeBlanc at the time, right? Same concept. Get rid of Kira's Anivia. You can get rid of his Azir, but it's not necessary. Yep. You don't have to get rid of Kindred. Sure, Kindred's a good champion, but why would you get rid of that when he's going to play Graves primarily anyway? And you, like, I don't know, Bard's available. Like, I'm just going to keep saying it. Get rid of it. Yeah, we've just seen how well he did on that Graves as well. He was just tearing through the Gragas every single time they crossed paths. And going for that Tracker's Knife as well, I feel if he did get that red smite, he might have been able to do a little bit more damage. But these junglers, they like to do whatever they want at this stage. Yeah, and they got a lot of vision for them as well, which is, I actually prefer not going the challenging smite, but Hard Random actually just smashed them. Yeah, Hard Random looking so damn good, back on form. But stay tuned for game number 2. We'll be right back after the break.